Hi guys, so this is a bit of an impromptu vlog. So I have been invited today by a friend Lisa, who has a young stallion. He's 5 years old. He has come to be graded through the British Bridge pathway, it's called. I need to get some more information on what is actually involved and what is going on, but we are here today at Addington. I don't know, I'm a bit unrecognisable where I am right now. So she's going to have a training session today with Corinne Bracken, and I'm going to take you guys with me a bit and show you a little bit about what's going on. All of the British foundations, so British show jumping, British dressage and British eventing, are really trying to promote a lot of young horse production in this country to help keep the horses in the country and help encourage riders, professional riders, to keep the horses in the country. Otherwise they all get sold abroad and then there's no good horses left in the country. So this is why these foundations, the organising bodies, are trying to be organised, offer training, offer pathways for these young horses to get better and better. I'm going to go inside now and we'll go from there. So this is Lisa.
Hi.
So we are now just heading back to the lorry to get Clint ready. So can you tell me a little bit about Clint?
So Clint is called Baloo for pleasure. He's a 5-year-old Oldenburg stallion.
British bred, which is very important.
British bred, which is why he's here. He's by Baloo de Rouet, out of a lovely mare that we still own. And he's been part of the futurity since he was a foal. He gained elite as a foal. Then he was the highest 2-year-old across all the disciplines, and then as a 3-year-old he was the highest jumper. So he has quite a record. However, I'm not the normal rider, so today's quite a challenge for me, and Miri's come
we
to
love
give
a challenge,
me a hand.
though, don't we?
So he's here to be looked at as part of the Equine Bridge, to see if we can get him onto that programme. And I'm now going to get him ready.
Good. Right, I will do a little bit more talking. So I've just had a little chat with the lady Rachel, who is the organiser here, and what she was explaining to me is that this is all about British breeding. So we are here because every single one of these horses was bred in this country, and this is another thing. So it used to be called the British Equestrian Federation, and now it's called the British Breeding Bridge. What is it? Equine Bridge. So it's essentially just to promote people wanting the horses to stay in this country. Where's your saddle pad? It's to promote people wanting to stay in this country with their horses and give people support and training of these young horses that were bred in this country. So I'm going to go and help Lisa get him ready now, and then we will go and see what happens. Very exciting. How cool is it to be here? Say hi, Clint. Oh. So I'm just tucking him up. I haven't got a girth here, Lisa. Haven't got a girth here.
Yeah, I'll post it through. It's just here.
Oh, I haven't checked up on a lorry for years.
Oh,
I miss it. I feel like I'm back doing what I should be doing. You're very handsome, aren't you? I'd like a nice little 5-year-old like you. Oh, don't tell me. I'd like a nice little 5-year-old like him. Have you got a mud that's got to go round this girth?
What?
So we are ready. Saddle, boots. And Lisa's shouting about me needing to brush his tail, but I'm not worried about that at the moment. You give me a tail brush?
And a flicky brush.
I'll see if I can.
I didn't really look at him much this morning.
Okay. See if I can give him a little groom in this partition. I brushed his tail. I brushed his tail, but I don't know. He's got a tail bandage on, so we'll just wait and see till we get him off. I think he'll be okay. So we are ready.
Okay, let's.
On. Everyone is happy and healthy. So Lisa is on, and she's riding around in a little warm up. I've got his passport, and yeah, he's been a very good boy. Obviously, because he's a stallion, there's always a bit of a, because there's that aspect of them knowing their job a little bit as then their other job, not just. He has never done any covering, but just, yeah, gonna go give his passport in and then just need it ready for her training. Are you okay? That's okay. We can do small spaces. He looks very handsome and smart.
His colt, Anglo-European Stubbook, date of birth is the 1st of January 2014, Clear Bay, put forward today for show jumping, owner breeder Lisa Maynard. Value for pleasure by Balou de Rouet, out of Lordships La Rochelle. Lordships La Rochelle by Landmark Broadstone Landmark.
So Lisa is just in and walking around. They're waiting for the other. There's always 2 riders in each section, so we're just waiting for the other person. Having a little trot around and maybe having a little interview. This is all very cool.
It's something to do whilst the evaluation team are doing their evaluation. So,
this is Balou for pleasure. I have the pleasure of riding him today, which I have done once, so you'll have to bear with me. I bred him, I own him. I don't have the facilities for a stallion, so he's been in the good hands of many professionals, including Lynn Crowden and Simon Crippen, who's been jumping him, and also Virginia Turnbull from Tanglewood Stables more recently. He's a laid-back character. He has his own mind. He likes his jumping, and he has 2 foals on the ground. He's a product of the futurity system. He's done this since he was a foal. He was an elite foal, and we've really supported the system all the way through. So it's a pleasure to ride him here today. And I'm looking forward to my lesson. I'm going to pass you back because I need to move.
So in the warm-up, Corinne had them both working over some poles through the middle of the arena, both crossing across it like vertically and horizontally. This meant that they were working on getting the horses working around the inside leg and then working in a straight line over the poles. So they were just starting by using the shape minus the poles, and then they were putting the poles in. It was working a lot on suppling the horses in their body. So you can see obviously young horses working their way through the poles, making them think about the way they're using the step and also the way they're flexing through their rib cages. The horse that Lisa was working alongside is actually 4, and what Corinne was talking about is how the poles were creating some tension in the horse's body, so she took it back a step and just worked on these poles that Lisa's coming over now. So you can see Lisa's horse easily changes the bend over the poles, lovely and supple through his body. Did I go back and film the 4-year-old? Yeah. And then the 4-year-old just left and right, really struggling, finding it very difficult. So you can just see how taking it back a step and going a little slower for the 4-year-old was what needed to happen in this instance.
Very good. Lisa with him, remembering the captain now, we can really start to introduce acceptance and contact. So we can start to take that outside rein a little bit more, be a little bit more definite with it, so that he understands that he may not always have silent legs around him. Very good. Super good.
You can see Lisa's horse, he works in a really lovely soft long frame. He can be a bit fussy in the connection, so she chooses to work him in this slightly longer, less connected frame to start with, so that she can bring him up into that shorter frame as he starts working more properly through his whole body. There would be no point in her shortening the reins and pulling him up short, because that is only going to create negative tension in the horse's neck.
Lisa, that's good. Jasmine's going to come and jump his face. You can join in as well, please. Good girl. Don't point out. Think about the straightness. Very good. Good girl. That's good. Keep that low leg punch from the knees to help you, Jasmine. Good girl. That's fine. Okay, girls, just come back a little bit bigger and then we're going to go straight to Oxer. And the reason we're going to go to Oxer is just so we get their backs working a little bit more. We educate them to use the core of their body. And at the moment, Jasmine, exactly what you're doing is absolutely fine. Because we want him to educate himself a little bit, we don't want to produce the the jump, we want him to produce the jump. And Lisa, a little bit the same for you, you're doing a great job on it because you're allowing him just to do the work for you as opposed to you producing that jump. So once more, through your poles and down to here, then we'll have a little boxer.
So I found it really interesting that they were using very small fences. I think often people, when they're training young horses or any horses, they tend to get a bit excited and start putting the jumps up. Obviously both of these horses have a huge amount of ability, but actually it's all about the ride and the connection and the ability to stay level down the distance. So this horse of Lisa's, he's 5, he's been jumping newcomers, so 1 metre 10, but here we're working over 8 centimetre vertical. Or Oxer is that now. You can just see how important it is just creating this positive environment where the horse is learning about how to carry itself down the distance. Corinne was talking a lot about how the rider is to allow the horse to make the jump rather than us creating the jump, and I thought, well, what a refreshing outlook. Amount of time that people are trying to manufacture the jump and make it better through gadgets and all the rest of it, and here you've just got a placing pole and a nice relaxed distance to work down. I thought this was such a positive training session for both of these young horses.
The ground line to give him the room in front of the fence. He's runs himself a little bit close, so I want to just give him the room to use the shoulder correctly. Good girl.
I realised I forgot his rug when we were getting him ready, so I'm just running back to the lorry. This is so interesting. It's really great, some really interesting things, and some things that I often say to clients, which is so nice. Corinne Bracken actually did my assessment when I applied to do my level 3. You have to like be assessed to be able to take the course. They don't want people that are like not up to speed, and so it's really nice because, well, I've always really like paid attention to what she has to say, and always, yeah, really, well, obviously she's chef to keep, has been for a long time, so she seriously knows her stuff. So it's so interesting to be here and learning. It just makes me excited. Like, I would love to be able to produce my young ones up through the futurity program and then be able to come and do this kind of thing when they're older. It's for British bred horses only, so the horses like Zora, I didn't realise that at the time when I said at the beginning, but horses like Zora wouldn't be able to be... Where is that rug? Oh, it's there. Horses like Zora wouldn't be able to be brought through futurity, which I think is a shame that there aren't, unless there may... No, there aren't any, other than the young horse classes, there aren't futurity programs unless they are British bred, so yeah. But Dee Dee and Kenko's foal would definitely be able to come to futurity. I would have brought Dee Dee to futurity this year, but because of Mo being so unwell, I missed all of the futurity dates, so she can come as a yearling, and actually that might even be better. She'll probably be in the event category because she's thoroughbred bred, but yeah, this is just nice. What a different way to spend a Monday, that is for sure. So here we have the 4-year-old now working down this distance. That's actually a 5-stride distance, and it went down on 4 strides. And then it's just running a little bit down the distances, and Corinne shares a bit of knowledge as to why that was happening.
When he started, he was quite quiet down the distances. Don't be fooled that running down the distances can also come from a little bit of fatigue. All right, it can come from the fact that he's not quite sitting because he's like, I'm starting to wait now. All right, but what he did there was really good because he showed he can get a little bit closer and he can really use himself. Okay, could I have this green oxer up 4 holes and about 2 foot wide? Great. The vertical going in can also go up 4.
So the fences are a little bigger now for Clint, and see down here, he just fights in the hand a little, still jumps very nicely, but he just would be, sabotaging a little bit of that scope because he's fighting in the connection. Lisa mentions that actually she's not a normal rider. She's actually ridden by somebody else, and it's a bit of a taller bloke. She felt he jumped nicely here, but she did feel she wanted to go and jump again, so she has another go. You'll see the connection between the distance is far better then the jump is a little cleaner and even more careful over the fence. So something that she wants to work on is the ride between the fences, but that's just going to come in time.
And when you have the ability to be able to take 4 or 5 separate strides between the fences, that's when it's ready to go.
So this session wasn't being assessed. These people stood in the middle are the assessors, but this was not the assessed session. That was coming the following day.
Let me have a chat with Lisa. Could she get some both back? So, well done.
Thank you, that was quite nerve-wracking, but it's a pleasure to actually be able to jump in. I sat on him on Thursday, so he's used to Simon, who is a lot bigger, stronger, very, very good eye to a fence, and then he's got a galloping event rider on his back. So that was a fantastic lesson from Corin. It made really good sense. Great warm-up. Love Jasmine's horse. Want to take it eventing. It's absolutely lovely. And a really useful session. Thank you.
Well done. Jasmine, any comments?
Yes, thank you for a brilliant session. It was really enjoyable. You'll have to speak to Mel, he's not my horse. Really thrilled with the horse and really thrilled with the session. I thought it was really beneficial to everybody.
I think you both did spectacular.
So now that we are finished with that, which was a great success, Clint did a wonderful job flashing his wares to the public. So that was an assessment to a degree. The assessors are there, but they're not actually grading them today. They'll grade them tomorrow. I may not be able to be here tomorrow, but I'm going to try. But now we have to do a vet inspection, trotting up and down, bit on the surface, not the surface, all the rest of it. So yeah, here he is. That's good.
Go straight down to the vet.
Yeah.
So, do you mind giving?
So here we have a judging panel. It was very good.
So
Very good. Jump super. Really, and you could see that nice improvement in when you were knowing about him more. So they just started by having a general look over his conformation. He was such a good boy, just stood being a model. A little bit of walking, trotting under saddle. She did some interesting stuff where she kept asking Lisa to change her diagonal, which I thought was really interesting to see the balance, I think. So yeah, we did a little bit on the surface. Then we stripped the tack off and we went outside and had a trot up on the on the hard surface even. This was the soft. So you had a vet, farrier, saddler, nutritionist, and so they all got a good look. They were talking, he's got a little splint on one of his front legs. They were looking at his conformation, the way he's being shod, his nutritional body score, the way he moves. And so they're here to help. They were offering advice, so each person offered their own piece of advice. The physio was very interesting. She gave lots of interesting exercises that she wanted him to be doing, some very small ones in fact that were very sort of subtle, which I thought was really interesting, and often you don't get to hear that kind of thing, those sort of small tweaking exercises that you can do every day, the importance of carrot stretches, all of that sort of thing was very interesting. Really great insight into kind of the top of the sport and how we can be doing better for these young horses. Now starting when they're 5 can be, or 4 or 5, can be such a beneficial thing rather than waiting till they are, top of the sport, jumping a Grand Prix, and then we start looking at these finer details.
Well done, that's just great. Sorry, just keeping his concentration levels. Basically, when he's standing here, if we look, the muscle structure through here is not as much as he's got here and here.
Yes.
So we need, in order to connect everything, we need to develop this muscle structure. Okay. Which we can do with various exercises. In fact, off the horse would be really quite useful. Okay. The other thing is these muscles here are actually quite weak if you look in here.
Yeah, very weak.
And to jump, he needs those to be massive.
Yeah.
So we need to work really hard with some exercises to strengthen this. And if we can strengthen all of these muscles here and underneath here, then his pelvis will start to tilt back. Okay. They will then bend his hind leg better, and we take the pressure off his hocks. Okay. The other thing we need to do is to stabilise the bottom from a farrier point of view a little bit more to help him with that. Because when he walks along and he does this, then he's twisting his hocks. Okay.
And we've got an effusion, which means he's a little bit
Yeah,
inflamed.
we want to
there.
stop that.
We want to stop
Yeah,
that, exactly.
okay.
So we need to stop that at the bottom, from a shooting point of view. We need to stop that at the top by improving his posture here and strengthening this whole unit.
And
here.
what would something like a treadmill, because being a stallion, I don't have him, I can't manage him at home. So hacking, he gets very limited, uphill, nothing.
Yeah.
Would something like a water treadmill, would something like that be
treadmill
able to
done
help?
well
Yeah.
could be really useful
Okay.
for him, because his muscle development here is pretty good.
Yeah.
So for horses that we put on the water treadmill, we get good muscle development through this unit
Okay.
here. Sometimes we don't get as much through here.
Okay.
So I tend to.
I'm going to be very rude
Sorry.
and stop you mid-flow
Sorry.
because I need to see the next
Next one,
one.
okay.
So, could all of you, Rachel included,
Oh, we're all going.
go down there and you can continue that conversation down there.
Okay.
Cool. Very good to see you. Don't forget about giving me a ring. So,
Okay.
a water treadmill done well
Okay.
can be really beneficial. A water
Right.
treadmill done badly can be bad.
Okay.
So you need to be careful where
Where
you're
we go.
going
Okay.
and how much they know and what they're doing. Basically, low water, low speed. Okay.
More developed.
He needs to go somewhere, not trotting. He needs to be walking. Don't let them be trotting on the water.
Okay.
And he needs to be low water, slow speed.
Okay.
And gradually building up. And that can be really useful for this. But I would also do walking poles, because
Yep.
that will help support this front edge too. So walking over raised poles would be really,
Okay.
really good.
I don't think I'd ever seen a trot pole, quite frankly, when I went in there today. So I was a bit, right, well, we're
Raised walking poles,
Walking
close
poles,
together,
okay.
raised up. Really, really good.
okay, with just in hand, with
In
nothing
hand
on?
would be good.
With
I would do with
Side
it
reins
like,
or-
either side reins or probably for him. I would use, the rope training aid that comes down
Yep.
here and goes
Yeah,
over here.
yeah.
That'd be
Okay.
really good for him, because that's going to lift him
yes.
here. Does he mind if I do that?
Oh, I shouldn't think so. He's pretty good for a stallion.
You could do some tummy lifting.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
definitely some carrot stretch. I'm not that keen on that, so I'd probably go with the carrot stretch.
Okay.
So carrot stretch down to the floor and down between here to the other
Okay.
side. So either side fetlocks and
Yep.
down between here. Loads of those.
Okay.
If you do it without him starting to kill you.
Oh no, he's
And when
really
you've
gentle.
done
in
that, tail pulls,
Yep.
look at switching those
Yeah.
muscles on. Loads and loads and loads. You can do 100 reps of those a day.
Okay.
25 each side, 4 times a day. Brilliant. Because that's what he needs to do. And I would, if it's a rehab yard, do they know about these exercises?
Well, Ginny, it's Virginia Turnbull, so it's not an official rehab, but she's
Okay.
Tanglewood Stable. She's very, very good.
Okay.
So
Because the other thing for him would be doing, if he doesn't do kick me, we need like slight lumbosacral flexion.
Yep.
It needs to be really, really a tiny bit. You see how I'm just going a tiny
Yeah.
little bit? That's
And
just
he's lifting it, yeah.
But don't do big ones.
Okay.
Do not do big ones. That's a disaster.
Okay.
So literally just lifting up, so that literally
Yeah.
just fills in here.
with some width
Right,
and
okay.
length apart, which is great. But I think you could actually do a little bit more.
Yeah,
It's just
okay.
going to help with what the vet just said about that, and starting from a good wide base. There's shoes on the market now where they've got super width and loads of length that he'll be able to take, especially on the outsides. That's just going to really help.
okay.
And just on the left fall, you know, it's got a splint.
Yeah.
Just do have a little bit more remedial support, just to maybe support that heel.
Okay.
That will just help a little bit if he can keep the shoes on. Obviously,
He
we
doesn't
don't
really
fit-
have turnout at the moment where he is. There's not a lot of, so it's only ridge and
Yeah.
work.
Okay.
so-
Well, yeah. So that
should
that
be
would,
fine.
that would work. Yeah. But they're tiny little adjustments.
Okay.
And it's just the main thing for me and this horse is just even more
Stabilise
width
the
behind.
base, yeah.
Because then that's going to help with that, and then it just comes hand in hand and we work together. And then do you need to say anything?
Well, I mean, you said it was borrowed tack, so obviously we're not going to look at it too closely from that point of view.
But
what I did
Open
notice
to
is,
suggestions to anything.
okay, suggestion is to get a good qualified saddle fitter to come and fit one for you properly.
Okay.
But what I did notice when you took tack off, he was more ruffled on the right than the left, but your saddle
Okay.
looked stable.
Okay.
However, you look like you were slightly off to one side. Now,
Okay.
whether or not that is something he's making you do, something the saddle's making you do,
Okay.
or something you do on all horses. Obviously, I've not seen you on any
Okay.
other horse. You know, I can't, and we're not allowed to touch them or anything at the moment.
Okay.
So, you know, that's just an observation. So it's something to bear in mind
Okay.
that you're not getting saddle twist. But
Which
once
way was the eye tipping?
you were tipping slightly to the right.
Right, okay.
We weren't sure if your stirrups possibly were wonky also.
Yeah, we weren't
Honestly,
sure
the
if they
sun-
were level
no,
or not.
I
It was
don't think they
difficult
were.
to
I don't think
tell.
they were level, so that might have explained that. To be
It
fair,
may
because
well
I was
do.
pulling up the stuff just.
But I think you're a good enough rider that you were balancing the saddle
Thank
with
you,
it.
yeah.
So you were slightly off, but the saddle was dead straight on horse.
Yeah. Okay.
But obviously it's caused some muscle
friction.
friction, muscle movement. However, once he strengthens his back end, obviously he's going to lift his strength, so he's going to support that back muscle anyway.
Okay.
So once he's more supported in his back, then you're going to be much better off with fitting a saddle on him.
And at home, so that's again, that's
it's
conditioning,
calories,
but without.
exactly.
Okay, yeah, I don't know if she uses that, but I do at home, so I can
any of
certainly
your oil
suggest it.
supplements, like Outshine is a Bailey's one, but then
Okay.
you've got Equijel, you've got
Equijel I use at
Build
home
and
as well.
Grow
Actually,
and-
that's a good idea. Equigel's good because it doesn't. I've got some 4-year-olds at home. It doesn't sound stupid.
Exactly, and
Okay.
all of that will help.
Yep.
But definitely, so I'd say 3 to 4 measuring mugs. Do you
Yeah.
have any?
Yeah.
Good to balance
A day.
Hi everyone. So we have just loaded him back up again. He is back on the box. I'm just going back to get his tack. Very interesting. Gosh, this is so brilliant. What an amazing kind of organisation of people. So you've got vets, saddlers, farriers, nutritionists, and they're all there just to help you do better with your brilliant horse. Yeah, I'm just really excited to be part of it, and it's really interesting, and I've learnt loads. So we're going to head back home, and then there's a gala dinner tonight. I'm going to try and come. I don't know if I'll be able to. I'm meant to be doing some coaching, but it is also meant to thunderstorm, so I don't think people are going to want to ride in a thunderstorm. So I'm going to go home and exercise my ones at home, welcome a new one, exciting, and then possibly come back this evening. Not sure yet. Bear with. Right, so since I filmed this video that I have just shown you, my phone crashed and I lost my rounding up video. So here I am on my way on holiday for the weekend, and I'm doing a little roundup video. So I didn't make it back to the gala dinner. I did go teaching. Do you want to be in the video or something? Such a pain, my boyfriend, honestly. I'm really ill. I've been ill for a whole week. You'll probably have noticed on this video it sounds rubbish some of the time. Anyway, so we're just stopping the services for a cup of coffee. Sorry about that. So I didn't go back to the gala dinner, but so Clint went the next day and he achieved a gold award. So that's not the highest award. There is an elite, but it was due to a bit about the ride, how he talked about how he was a bit sensitive in the rein. So had that been better, he would have definitely achieved the elite award. Lisa was so pleased with him, and so great that a horse that has come all the way through this futurity program, so as a foal, a yearling, a 2-year-old, a 3-year-old, every year he's come back and been regraded, and he's still right up there at the top. So I hope you guys found this video interesting. I certainly found all of the information and the coaching and everything that we got from the physios and the vets and the farriers very, very informative. Like I said, I'm so looking forward to next year being able to take Dee Dee to the futurity as a yearling and having her graded and seeing what they think of her. So from me and... You're not gonna...
We taking a picture. I think so.
Honestly, he's useless at this. So from me and this clown
And
next
George.
door, George.
Thank you for watching.
Thank-
Please like and share. Don't forget to subscribe. And I'll see you next time.
Bye for now.